in this exercise, we'll start with the greet friend with list view and then modify it in order to understand the lifecycle methods of an Android activity. So to do that, let's go into main activity.java and then add in a variable here saying private static final tag, and we will use this tag later on to output some log messages on the screen. So we'll see how those log messages work in practice. Now, so with the tag added there, let me go ahead and then add in a log message, say log.i tag, and I'll say so using log messages, we are able to type out things onto the to the log window so that we can track the progress of our application as it is executing in on the device. So let's add in this to the onCreate method. Similarly, we will soon learn that in Android activity has several other lifecycle methods. In particular, let me add in a few more lifecycle methods for the Android activity. So we'll say generate and override methods. So we'll add in for the activity, we'll say on start, on restart, on resume, then on pause, on stop, and the last one I need is the on destroy method. So let me see where it is. Okay, let's go ahead and add these methods first, and then I will also add in, again, I try as far as possible to take the help of Android Studio to fill in as much of the code as possible so that it'll avoid me typing in errors. So we have several different methods here: on start, on restart, on resume, on pause, on stop, and on destroy methods. Later on, I will explain to you what these methods are and how they play a role in the life cycle of an Android activity. For the moment, let's take in this log message, and then we will just log the fact that each of these methods are being executed by our Android application as it is executing. So I will have this log message being printed by every one of these lifecycle methods. So for the on start, I would say on start, and so on. So let's add in for each one of those methods. So once you have completed adding in the log statement to each one of these methods, let's copy all these methods and also add them to the show message activity. So I'll just type in here, and for the show message activity also I will add in the tag variable. So show message. Now once we have completed this, in addition, I should also type in for the for the onCreate method here. So let's go ahead and save. Let me quickly explain how these lifecycle methods work in practice. We will examine it in more detail later on. First and foremost, we already learned that when the Android framework starts your activity, it is going to call your onCreate method. After calling the onCreate method, the framework is going to come in and call the onStart and the onResume method in quick succession. And your activity then occupies the screen and its UI will be displayed on the screen. When the activity disappears from the screen, then the Android framework will call the onPause and the onStop method. Now, the reason why an activity may disappear from the screen is because either you hit the back button or you hit the home button for an activity. Now, if one activity is switching to another activity by starting a second activity, then the lifecycle methods of the two activities will intermingle with each other in the way they are called. So we will examine this in a bit more detail when I explain the theoretical aspect of this after we complete this exercise. So once you have updated the main activity and showMessage.java file, let's go ahead and run this application and then observe what happens in the log window on the screen. Now that your greet friend application's main activities UI is displayed on the screen, it is interesting to note that for the main activity, the onCreate, the onStart, and the onResume methods were called in quick succession, one after another. So this is the logcat window where the log messages are printed out as your application is running on the screen. Now let's go ahead and click one of these list items. So when you click that list item, you will immediately notice that the onPause method for the main activity was called, and then subsequently the onCreate method for the showMessage activity was called, and then the onStop method for the for the main activity was called thereafter. Okay, and now you see the showMessage activity being displayed on the screen. So this completes our examination of the lifecycle methods of Android. Now, in this example, we have not actually seen the real use of these lifecycle methods. In one of the later exercises, we will employ these lifecycle methods to actually control some aspects of your app behavior.